Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. Those who have positioned themselves before the adoption will make an amount of money that even working 8 lifetimes will not make. That is why this is the biggest opportunity of our lifetime. We will never again experience a change of the financial systems like this while we're still alive. It's up to you, my friends. XRP. I would have to say that this is probably the most wildest and boldest claim X-Finance Bull has ever made. They hoarded gold. The real play was XRP all along. Gold hits $4,000. Central banks hoard thousands of tons. The world rushes into metals as fear takes over. Then Trump audits Fort Knox and sells it all. 8,133 tons dumped on the market. Gold crashes, confidence collapses. But here's what they didn't see coming. XRP stays standing. The SEC lawsuit is over. It's not a security. ETFs get greenlit. The Fed uses fresh liquidity to scoop up XRP cheap, and it becomes a new digital reserve, a bridge asset, a settlement rail. 38 trillion of US debt routed through XRP. Ripple's ISO 222 rails will run the back end. CBDCs, taxes, payroll, and defense all settle on chain. USD survives, but XRP powers the system. Gold is phased out by 2030. XRP absorbs the 28 trillion reset. And the ones who held, not the gold bugs, not the banks. It's the XRP Army that wins. You're not just holding the coin, you're holding the key to the new financial system. Comment down below and you tell me. I believe this is the biggest, boldest prediction he's ever made. What do you guys think? This seems like it's pretty far out there and far-fetched, but shit, you never know, I guess. Comment down below and you let me know. The globalist takeover has already started. They aren't just buying houses, they're dismantling the American dream piece by piece. With a playbook so sinister, it would make a Bond villain blush. A few weeks ago, BlackRock allegedly bought 50,000 homes. Then they sold 3 of them to themselves for more than double the price. You got that right. Your neighbor's home just doubled in value overnight. Congratulations. Now you can't afford the property taxes to live there anymore. This isn't an accident. It's a calculated corporate heist. Here is their step-by-step playbook. Let's check this out and hear what he has to say.
A few weeks ago, allegedly, BlackRock just bought 50,000 homes at $300,000 each, then sold 3 to themselves for $700K. Your neighbor's value just doubled overnight, and you can't afford to live there anymore. They're stealing the American dream because BlackRock, step one, how they do this, they identify middle-class neighborhoods with growth potential, right? Step 2, they buy hundreds of homes in cash, 20 to 30% above asking price. Imagine being that guy, putting your shit on listing, and it's like, oh no, we'll buy it for 30% more. I ain't saying no to that. I'm out that neighborhood. Imagine the HOA screwing you over and you're like, ha, I'm out of here. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, peace. Step 3, regular families can't compete with unlimited corporate cash. Why? Because step 4, once they control enough inventory, they sell a few homes to shell companies that they already own. Step 5, those inflated sale prices become the new market rate. Step 6, your property taxes, and this is where it gets crazy. Your property taxes triple based on these fake sales. So the family that saved for 10 years to buy their first home, outbid by a corporation with infinite money. The elderly couple who owned their home for 40 years, forced out by property taxes they can't afford. Meanwhile, and this is where all the good money comes in for them, BlackRock rents these homes back to the same families they priced out. The rent is $2,500 monthly. The former mortgage payment would have been $1,800. They created the problem.
All right, real estate agents, question for you.
My question for you, how are they even able to do this? But in my opinion, it should be considered a monopoly. They should not be allowed to do this type of thing to the American people. And the sad thing about this is I've heard this exact situation actually happening many, many times before. This was a pretty wild video on a Faceoff. It's pretty crazy to see their different of opinions and their different ways of thinking. They're not nowhere near on the same page.
Bitcoin is
an experiment in monetary theory. It's a breakthrough in emergent collaborative systems.
Complicated and maybe the future as a store of value.
In 5 years, cash will be...
Cash. I don't think cash is changing dramatically in the next 5 years.
Cash will be valuable still, but it may take on different forms. Some of those forms will be decentralized cryptocurrencies.
You should invest in XRP because...
Not even going to answer that. No.
We're solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, and we're making a lot of progress towards that.
ICOs are
fraud,
speculative, and speculation drives innovation. So they're very important in creating foundational infrastructure.
Governments,
they're fraud, he says. Fraud. The other guy says foundational. Joe Lubin comes off with this foundational bullshit.
Should embrace cryptocurrency because They can help make governments more efficient.
I am certain the government should embrace applications built on blockchain systems.
What keeps me awake at night is
Email.
keeping the Ripple momentum going.
To critics who say cryptocurrency is a bubble, I say yes, it's a bubble that drives innovation.
They were also the people shorting Amazon in 1997.
What's pretty funny is look at Brad Garlinghouse's smirk on his face. It's like a shit-eating grin right there, if I don't say so myself. Who won that? Look how, I'm sure you guys seen how different their answers were. It's pretty wild. Joe Lubin really didn't seem to know much or even really want to say much. I would have to say this is probably the most unprepared I've ever seen anyone be. I cannot believe he went here to testify. He was not prepared one bit. His question was, what is the CBDC for? What problem does it solve? What? To keep track with reality how we're all purchases say work and with our goods our modern economy. You know, best description I've ever heard. Can you believe this mess? This is pretty wild. Watch this video.
What's this CBDC for? Why? What problem is it going to solve?
Look, what's it for? It's to keep track with the reality of how we'll purchase and save and do our work with our goods. This is about being a modern economy that recognises how our citizens, want to do business, but that it throws up a number of challenges that you'd want to overcome before you decided to proceed.
Oh, did you guys hear that? Did you guys make any sense out of all that? That's pretty wild, don't you think? I cannot believe he came to testify and he was that unprepared. Blows my mind. Some people these days, pretty wild. I will honestly have to say RLUSD was the ultimate strategic move to have regulated utility pumping the XRPL. RLUSD brings regulated activity worldwide, opening faster adoption for tokenized real-world assets. Clarity Act regulations imminent. Once that happens, things will go parabolic.
I want to get you to look into the crystal ball in terms of pricing. Where do you think Bitcoin is going? And linked to that, where Ethereum is headed?
Yeah. So I think all the alts are going to enjoy a nice spike, but typically there's a lag. So Bitcoin goes up, it stalls, and then the alts come up, and then the market goes down. It reaches a new plateau. We sit there for a few years, and then we go up. Those cycles were retail driven, and they were every 4 years. But now that we have all this institutional involvement, we have things like the Clarity Act coming, you're going to have probably another 500 million to 1 billion users entering the space as the Magnificent Seven come in and they integrate crypto into their platforms. We're already starting to see the banks come in because of the Genius Act, and these create disruptions that are unpredictable because that's a different kind of capital than these retail cycles that we have. So in terms of price, I still firmly believe that Bitcoin's probably going to peak somewhere around 250,000 sometime next year. And
sometime next year is middle of next year?
Yeah, probably about middle of next year. It just depends on the macroeconomics.
And Ethereum?
It's hard to say, but usually you see a proportionality with those types of things. So I could see another 30 to 50%. But I'm the worst trader in the world, so don't take any financial advice from me.
Anybody that still believes the 4-year cycle is going to take place after this utility run, you're going to be sadly mistaken because it's not going to happen. And last up, big move. SEC Chair Atkins says the agency is modernizing security laws to include crypto assets. The SEC is moving from punishment mode to progress mode. This is what clarity looks like, and it changes everything.
Fortunately, the SEC in the past has focused on regulation through enforcement. We're not doing that anymore. We want to have forward-looking regulation. We need to accommodate this new technology under rules and give clarity to people. It'd be great to have that undergirded by legislation from Congress. And so I'm hoping that Congress will be able to do as the president asked and deliver a bill on his desk for signature by the end of the year. I think that would be great for everybody, for market structure and for clarity, for people to know what's a security, what's not, and for us to be able to harmonize with our fellow regulators.
Well, I'm going to close this my most famous words. I love to say them. The institutions are here, my friends. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Made CI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.